For some time now, a lot of things have been happening in Nigeria. There have been so many complaints, and the uproar increased when, in some few weeks ago, some people coming from Port Harcourt were ambushed at Uromi in Edo State and killed. And we've had the last 1 week, we've had a lot of stories from Plateau State where there have been some mass killings again, as it happened last year. And we've had stories about continuing insecurity in some states in the northern part of Nigeria. And so this evening we are discussing with the Right Honorable Babangida Ibrahim, uh, a three-time member of the House of Representatives. He was representing Malufashi Kafuru Federal Constituency in that state. And while he was in the House, he was chairman of the House Committee on Finance in the 8th Assembly and chairman of the House Committee on Capital Market in the 9th Assembly. Honorable Babangida, you're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Shaulu.
Yes, we're talking about security. Security. Recently, a general was kidnapped and got released in Katsina State. One would have thought that by now, with all the actions that have been taken, there should have been more security in Katsina State. Why are we still having challenge in Katsina State?
Well, naturally, that should have been expected with the claim and the effort being made by at both federal and state level. Unfortunately, the thing is escalating day by day. You see, the kidnap of the general is one out of many, which the occurrence is almost on daily basis. There was a time in my local government, in particular, for almost a week, kidnappers launched their attack on daily basis and continuously for almost a week. And you see, in spite of the effort being made at the federal and the state level, yet one tend to wonder what is happening because people are emphasizing the kidnap of the general. General is now a civilian, even though he's a retired general. He lived within the same community, and even on the day he was kidnapped, surprisingly, he was kidnapped with more than 10 people. But unfortunately, nobody is talking about the other 10 people. The emphasis is on the general, on the general, on the general. And I watched on the television the ceremony that was held in Abuja. With the interview which was conducted with him and his narrations. But unfortunately, nobody is talking about the other people that were arrested or kidnapped with him. So you see, these are some of the major challenges as it is today in Katsina. In my senatorial district, which is Funtua Zone or Katsina South Senatorial District, there is no one single local government, 11 local governments that has not experienced kidnapping in recent time. If you go to Katsina Central, almost only three local government are exempted. All other ones has experienced one or two or three times attack on all the various local government, which are about nine. So if you put together almost more than 20 or about 20 local government in Katsina State are under this kidnapping, whatever, out of 34, which is representing almost close to 60% of Katsina State's geographical area. So these are things that one cannot specifically explain what is happening. But
Are
honestly,
you saying, Honorable Babangida, that Katsina State is under siege?
well, we can say that because if about 60% of the local government are experiencing kidnapping almost on daily basis, then you can say that.
Well, why will this thing continue for so long? By now, people would have thought that with the efforts made and the fact, considering the fact that the former president even comes from Katsina and there have been establishment of new military outfits in Katsina, that this will not be happening the way you are depicting it to be.
Well, you see, security issues are things that one cannot specifically say this is exactly what is happening, because you need information for you to comment on issue on security. But all we know is that it's a claim by federal government and the state government. Every day they are making effort, and every day they claim to be making effort, and they also claim to be rescuing a lot of kidnappers and whatever. But you see, those people living in the locality, they can specifically tell you that there is little or no improvement
Okay,
because
and unfortunately, that appears to be the case across the whole country because we heard about the what happened at Uromi. People now taking law into their hands because of the activities of kidnappers.
yeah. But you see, the issue of Uromi is an unfortunate situation because under normal circumstances, the assumption a vigilante group, whoever is a member of any vigilante group, should have been somebody that has been screened and is assumed to be a responsible person before he's engaged to be part of the vigilante group. Because even the military or paramilitary, nobody has a right or the power to take law into his own hands. So even if those people are claimed to be kidnappers or whatever, ordinarily they should have been arrested and taken to the appropriate authority for them to be screened and verified whether actually they are kidnappers or not. But for people to take law into their hand is a very, very unfortunate situation. And you see, Nigeria gradually were becoming lawless. Everybody does what he likes, and people will go free.
Yeah, that brings me to the question that is on the minds of people that if you look at the country now, we're talking about Plateau, talked about Kaduna, talked about Katsina, talked about many more areas that people are having these challenges. Is it right to say that not much has actually happened in terms of combating this challenge that we have?
Yes, as far as I'm concerned, there's not so much that has been achieved, or uh, because you see, by the time you allow each and every community to take law into their hands, that is a clearly sign of failure of government, because it is a responsibility of government to protect its citizens. And why people decide to take law into their hand is because there are no consequences. People will still perform the same acts and go free. Nobody will hear about it because of maybe their ethical background, their religious background, or for one reason or another. And some of them because of their political affiliation. But I think this type of act should be discouraged. People should stop taking law into their hands.
Now, let me ask you on this security matter, what would you suggest the government should do, given the fact that a lot of suggestions have been made, several panels set up, a lot of expenditure incurred by the government. What suggestions would you give?
Well, personally, I will go with a suggestion that was recently offered by, I think, the director DSS, why he make it public that they don't have the number of personnel that will cover every territory. That each and every community should prepare themselves and protect themselves. And I think it is a very good idea. And I think even though there are cases where some of the traditional institutions are found to be involved in some of this kidnapping and whatever issues, but ordinarily the traditional institutions should get involved. The community should get involved, and that is what has been happening in recent time. That people have decided to form themselves into a group. Whenever there is any, in fact, what I heard recently in my local government, they even distributed this walkie-talkie. If there's any attack on any particular area, so quickly inform the other people at the other area so that everybody will come and chase them away. So I think the community government should find a better way of engaging the community so that people will not be taken law into their hand, so that some people cannot be victims, because the way it is in some areas, we discover that some innocent people are becoming victims of some of these actions by vigilante groups.
In the last few minutes, we'll be speaking with Honorable uh, Babangida Ibrahim, the Right Honorable member from Malufashi Kafuru Federal Constituency. Now, let's turn to politics. Some people are suggesting that the increase in this problem, which even the governor of Borno State has spoken of about Boko Haram gaining ground in Borno State, is as a result of politics. We're getting close to another season of politics.
Well, honestly, I don't believe in that because if you talk about the comment made by the Governor of Borno State is APC. The government at the center is APC, and I believe the government will do whatever they can do to ensure that they maintain the political leadership in the states. You see, it's better we look at it rather than failure of government to adequately provide the necessary security for its citizens. It's not political because if we say it's political, then you see this insecurity issue has crossed almost all the states in Nigeria. There is those who say that can claim, very few of them, that can claim that this issue of banditry and kidnapping is not taking place in their own states. So I don't think it is political. It has nothing to do with
Okay,
politics. You
now we're
better
talking
refer
about
as yeah.
politics.
Hmm.
Yes, you were in APC, then NNPP. Where are you now?
You see, I was in AIPP, CPC, APC, NNPP. And you know the reason why we left the APC is because of the injustice that was meted on us during the 2023 primary elections, which were clearly all indices has shown that we are going to win our election. Unfortunately, for one reason or another, those people that claim to be governors, they did what they like. So lack of internal democracy has caused us, and it's not because people doesn't like us or people doesn't want us to represent them, but because of individual personal interest, we left the party. And as I can, based on your question, I've led the NNPP. I've submitted my letter. We are reviewing political situation in Nigeria because the essence of politics is what you can contribute to your people. It's not personal to you. So we are reviewing situations, and I believe in the next few months, everybody will now pitch into the appropriate party that he feels he can provide the necessary contribution to the development of his immediate committee and to the Nigeria as large. But so far, I'm just relaxing myself and reviewing situations, and will take position in the next few months, by the grace of God.
Yeah, Honorable Babangida, people claim that political scientists are saying that, and even are saying that one of the reasons why politics is not developed very well in Nigeria is that people jump from parties to parties. You cannot really know which party a politician is in
But you see,
Nigeria
when you look
until
at
you check
Nigerian
his
politics,
new
the
ID
political
card.
party only exists to provide platform. There's no any ideology with the political parties. The same group of people move from one party to another as the same sets. If you look at APC today, APC was an amalgamation of AMPP, ACN, and part of PDP. Only five governors joined APC then. But if you look at the APC as it is today, substantially more than 60 to 70%, and the APC were former PDP members, especially in my states. So if you look at issue of jumping from one political party to another, is because there is no internal democracy in Nigeria. All the political parties that are claiming that they give internal democracy is not correct. And that is the reason why people jump from one party to another, because some people take political parties as private enterprises, not for public. So you see, parties are only being used as platform to contest election. No matter how good you are, no matter the capacity, no matter your popularity, you need a platform for you to contest election in Nigeria. That is why we encourage this issue of independent candidature in the upcoming constitutional amendment, so that at least people can be able to contest in their own name, irrespective of whether they belong to a political party or not. But between me and you, there is no political party in Nigeria now that has any
Yeah,
ideology. There's none so far.
yeah. If you check the look at the National Assembly in the both in the eighth and the ninth National Assembly, attempts were made to amend the constitution, and it failed from day one at the initial stage at the in the eighth assembly. In the ninth assembly, it got to the point of voting, and it was overwhelmingly rejected by members of National Assembly.
You see, because why it was rejected is because if INEC cannot manage the few political parties we have, you see, the environment may not be conducive for independent candidature because even the printing of the ballot paper is going to be complex. And I don't think if INEC has the capacity to manage individual candidature in a contest where, for example, now in your own federal constituency, there's every possibilities that you have about 10 people or more than 20 people that will be contesting in different political party as independent candidature. So if that happens, how will you print the ballot papers? There are a lot of issues that were raised because Nigeria were not even ready for that. Because number one, we are not honest and sincere in terms of improving or growing our democracy. Every day, people fight for their personal interests. So it's because of the complexity nature of the independent candidature. That is why even if you put it in the constitution, there's every possibilities that INEC will not be able to manage the amount of it. Because if you look at the bureau's positions that are being contested, so you can assume the number of states we have in Nigeria, the number of federal constituencies we have in Nigeria. So how can INEC print a ballot paper that will cover that? So these are some of the things that we need to be open for conversation and discussions, or we understudy certain jurisdiction to see how possible is it to allow an independent candidature to contest in Nigeria. You see, what is happening with independent candidature, I think they are closely related with the special seats that has been claimed for the disabled, a special seat for women. All these things are things that are very complex to implement. So making provision in the constitution is one thing, and implementation is another thing.
Well, okay, let's talk about the upcoming election 2027. Some people believe that the opposition
Yeah.
parties are not prepared for the next election.
Well, you see, what people don't understand, what do they mean by preparing? If you look at the total number of votes, uh, Tinubu win his election with minority votes because the number of votes that are with the minorities are more higher than the winning vote of Tinubu if you put them together. And you see, sometimes people are too anxious and too eager. This government is just it's less than 2 years because the government will be 2 years by 29th of May. So you don't expect any political activity to start. So what do you expect the opposition to come out and do? If you look at most of the political parties, they have not even done their congresses. You see, every politics has stages. The political party has to conduct their candidate congresses first because there are constitutions guiding each and every political party. So you can't just jump because the idea is that issue of merger is ruled out because the assumption or the belief is that there are a lot of applications for new political parties and which are still yet to be attended to. So if you say you are going to establish a new political party or you are going into merger, it may going to be almost impossible. But at the end of the day, I think by the time each and every political party conduct the congresses, they elect the leadership of the political parties. I think at that time, the conversation will be open as to what type of synergy will take place in order to overcome this. Because the a strong opposition even makes the leading government or the ruling government to wake up. So for those people that are saying the opposition are sleeping, is they don't understand what is politics. It's not time for politics now, but I can assure you before the end of this year, you see what is going to happen in Nigeria. There are going to be a lot of alignment and realignment of both political parties. You see a lot of synergy and movement. And I believe if the current government in power assumes that there is no opposition, I think they are just deceiving themselves because people are not happy. People are not happy, honestly.
On a final note, you are saying people are not happy, but let me put it to you that you were among the people that worked so hard to bring this government to power because we started with Buhari. So it's
Yeah,
still your government. You are not happy with your government.
yeah. You see, the issue is why you said government. Every government has its stages, and every government has a tenure. Yes, what I'm saying. When you talk about government, they're not talking, but the political parties are, the no, are not the one running the government. Every government has its president, has the vice president, has members of the executive councils, they have members of the parliament, and I'm not one of them. I'm not one of any of them. So you cannot claim that it's still my government. And like I told you earlier, you see, APC was progressive initially, and the idea then was to make sure that the party bring a lot of changes in the way democracy is being run in Nigeria. But unfortunately, like I said, lack of internal democracy is what caused everything and personal interest. If you are not with somebody, they will never, in fact, if you have this kind of strong ideologies, they will never go with you. So why I'm saying people are not happy, and is because some people they still have expectations. Some are in APC, but their mind is only their body that is in APC. Their mind is not in APC. Why? It's because of expectations. They have worked for the party and they are still expecting either one type of generosity or appointment or whatever from the party, so they are just managing themselves. But just give them another 1 year. By the time it is almost over, everybody will come out with his true color and support or work against the party.
Oh, thank you very much. We hope to have you again to discuss this party, this political discussion as it heats
Yeah,
up. Well, we've been speaking with Honorable Babangida Ibrahim, the very powerful former chairman of the House Committee on Finance. Thank you, Honorable, for being with us today.
you're welcome, right,
Thank you.
honorable. I'm looking forward to have more conversation because we are all one.